And welcome to Sporting Jibberish. I'm Stuart Booth.
I'm Joe Luffman.
I look like I've just come straight from court.
I tell you what, look at you.
I thought I'd get in there first before you did.
Unbelievable. Look, smart young man. Smartest member of the PE staff all day today, I think.
I've got to be out of shadow without a shadow. So yeah, for anybody looking at us now like, what on earth are you two dressed like? It's, well, that's Jack's normal attire. It's staff inductions this week, so I've had to dress up for the old staff photograph.
Photographs today, yeah.
I think it makes it that. You know, they talk about equality. So the women take a picture. Are you happy with this, madam? Are you happy with this? Are you happy with this? And then 6, 7, me, take a picture. Can I have it? No. Off you go. Come on.
Well, it's obviously the way you were, because I had mine taken, and the lady said to me, "Would you like to look at it, sir?"
I think it's my modelling experience.
So I said, "Of course." I said, "Oh, you've done quite a good job on that." And she said, and I quote, "You're very beautiful, sir."
My goodness. Is this the one with the white stick?
Mike. So there we go. So wait for that to come out. It'll be all over the website. And
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Right. Anyway, on to today's show. We're going to be talking fantasy football. Larkin is back because he's on our bi-weekly.
Yeah, bi-weekly. I tell you what, I haven't told her yet. I've done a week at work.
I can't speak. Can't speak. We're going to be looking a little bit at cricket. Maybe there is some good news in the offing for England.
Yes.
But no doubt they'll probably capitulate at some point. Premiership football, we'll have a little look at the weekend's results and what's coming up before the international break. And good news, the Arabian Gulf League is back, so we're going to have a little look at that.
I feel for those boys playing this heat.
Oh, yeah, honestly. But we'll have a start with our sporting week. So what have you been up to this week with the old cricketers?
The old cricket, yes. We trained again last night. Good turnout again. All systems go a lot. We've got a good group of young lads coming through, so it'll be really good. So they're going to be our legs. In football, you'd say they'll be the legs, so they'll be the ones running around the boundary, and us oldies can actually stay in the circle. So no, they're looking good. Still need a few more players, I think, really, to be satisfied with having a decent sized squad. But as is the case in Dubai, everything's always a little bit last minute with certain people, isn't it? So we're not overly worried there. Looks like we've got a couple of sponsors as well just to get over the line this week, so that'll be very helpful if we can. And yeah, it was alright. I'm feeling good touch, mate, to be fair.
You did say last week that you were unbelievable. I think that were the words. But I love how he hypes himself up now while he's training, and then when the push comes to shove, when the big boys need to step up, when the going gets tough, Luff disappears.
That's not what Matty says. That's what Matty's song for me.
That's the news song.
No, I'm looking forward to that. We've got a friendly on next Friday, first game, 7 o'clock start.
Not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow today. Yeah, to the 3rd. Friday the 3rd. She's got a friendly against, I think, Tigers or something. I think another new team, so that'll be alright down at the Port DP World. So
it's miles away.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trek, but that's 7 o'clock in the morning as well, so that's going to be an early start.
5:30 get up.
Yeah, but early finish, so see what happens in the afternoon. You never know what kind of But yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be hot, whatever, isn't it? But at least I think starting at 7, we're going to get it out of the way. So, and then we've got 2 friendlies, and then the league starts on the 17th, so not too far away now. So
I think somebody actually said to me yesterday that we're over the hump now. We're actually starting in the cooling phase.
Really?
I wish it was cool.
I'm going to say. But I thought I think today's been really hot again, the humidity.
Yeah, it's just not nice.
Yeah, so what about yourself? You've been
trained twice this week. Once with the EFA team, which we're going to keep a close eye on because they're actually called Sporting Jibberish Nation. So this was a team that I joined a few years ago, and we were called United Nations. I think we finished like 4th or 5th in the league, and it was just a jumbled up squad. Anybody that could get a game came and played for us. And then Sam took it on board, and he's kind of aligned the team, and we were actually called Docmania Nations, which was after our sponsor the season, and then we won the league, and then we were on to winning the league last year when COVID interrupted, and they've decided, the team voted for the podcast to be the front name. So on the league table, it actually says Sporting Jibberish Nation. So we are going to be covering them in a little bit of depth this year.
Actually, what I should say, so part of our registration for the DSL, which is the Desert Super League, we get kits. So they have one supply of kit, which is quite good. They won't be the best. I've seen them mock up. It's not good. No. I won't lie, it's not good. However, I had to send logos and things like that, and number names and stuff. We've just got ones and ours because we're not really sure thing. But we had to send some sponsors. Now, we didn't actually have any official sponsors at the time, so Sporting Jibberish is all over our shirts too.
Was it?
Yes. So, So, and actually, to be fair, I've actually put a little bit of my own money into the club, so we are kind of sponsored anyway. So so we're all over sport.
So officially, we own a football team and a cricket team.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And then last night went with the vets team. It was I think it's our last 7-a-side practice before we start pre-season, and they've just told me it's 2 training sessions a week next week for pre-season. I took the boy Wonder with me.
I've heard about it. I'm surprised he's not been to tell me.
He literally, to be fair, in practice he's played well. I didn't see the goal because our team, literally, Harry was on our team. So basically, 3 lads come above the running back, Harry being one of them.
He's youngest there by about 30 years.
Easily. 20 odd years than everybody else. And he's kind of just playing like up front. Anyway, I've just tracked back to Winterman. We managed to put a block in and the ball's got pumped down. And he's took a touch and lifted it over somebody. And as it's come down, he's volleyed it into the far top corner. But I didn't see the lift, but I could see the angle of the ball because of where I was looking. And then he's hit it first time. It's gone right top corner and then just dropped. He's just walking around telling everybody it's the best goal he's ever scored. He's amazing. But they bring him down with a bump, played the ball into his feet, he lost it, and he got an absolute roasting off me.
Oh yeah, but that went down well.
Oh, it was like it was the pass. I went, stop the pass.
Did he get his insole sorted out of hell?
Oh, it still stink. The smell in his boots at just another level. But yeah, good run out. So potentially 3 sessions next week.
Well,
yeah. If I am not 15 stone or less.
Probably. You'll do 3 sessions, sweat it all out, and then Friday afternoon you better brunch and
I'm off brunch at the moment, so I think it's been. To sound like an alcoholic, it's been at least 7 days since I've had a drink.
I've not had one since we had a nice little soiree at Charlie's.
Yeah, that was a good do. But so looking forward to it, building up to the season nicely. I think we are due to start end of September or October for both, but I believe friendlies are going to start for Sporting Jibberish Nation sooner. Got a good squad together this year.
Cool.
Some good young pups in there.
Might have to come and have a watch.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried because the gaffer has gone, I want you to lead the line up front. I'm like, 41, mate, I don't fancy running around there.
And that's an open age.
That's open age, so it's a lot of hours. But he's also said if Harry's available, he can come and have a game.
Right, and she'll be able to play with the boy on the pitch.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be worth it. I tell you what, listeners, I am going to go and I'm going to film it because it will be worth it because they're bound to lose their
rugby. It'll just be me shouting at him and him sulking. But I tell you what, there's some pace between the two of us. Right, anyway, on with this week. So we'll have a little look at the Premiership to start with. So we'll have a quick glance through the games. I actually got a bit of football in action and watching last week. So Liverpool played Burnley first game. Interesting game. I thought Liverpool were quite controlled. Burnley a little bit more open than they've done ever in the past, where they actually kind of pressed and put themselves forward. Klopp's comments at the end was a little bit about Burnley being physical, but you expect that. Ashley Barnes is a little bit naughty off the ball and he will put himself about a bit. Wood works hard, but without any actual point to his point to his running, he kind of just runs around in aimless areas. Good to see Van Dijk back. Not there yet.
No,
not by any stretch. He had a good game, but just not quite there. Liverpool first half 1-0, quite comfortable. Burnley thought they'd equalised right at the beginning of the second, only to be disallowed, which made me laugh because Ashley Barnes was giving the old brief to the old cop after he scored. And then there was that 20-minute spell where Liverpool just stepped up into another gear and Burnley couldn't live with them. Thankfully, Liverpool got the second goal, which I think they need just to get the game off.
You always need that, don't you?
Yeah, and then ran out quite comfortably in the end.
Harvey Elliott?
Started a little bit unsure. I was a little bit worried for him that he was a little bit out of his depth. It was nice touches, but then because he was pressed so quickly, it was almost like he couldn't get his head up quick enough to see on the next pass. And fortunate/unfortunate for him, he actually got fouled on both occasions. So without him losing possession of the ball, he actually got brought down because he was just towing it away from the challenge without knowing what the ball was going to go to afterwards. But as the game got on, started to get more involved in the game. Brilliant pass for Salah's goal that was disallowed for offside. Brought the ball down well on his chest for Trent to set up Mane, and then just kind of grew into the game.
Yeah, I think looking at him, I think my immediate comparison is with Foden. Foden obviously ahead of him, but to get to really see whether he's going to make it at that level, he needs game time, doesn't he? And that's the issue. You know, is he going to get enough game time as Liverpool? Does he need to go out on loan to a Prem club?
Yeah,
there's definitely something there.
I think he's had his time out on loan now. I think the good now is you just keep him in the fold, and then when we play the lower half teams where we can afford to start him, then you would do. So you'd be eyeing up like, see, you did Burnley, I'd be eyeing up Crystal Palace, I'd be looking at Brentford game, looking at Norwich, Brighton, Watford,
Everton.
There's potentially Everton because they're absolute pants. But yeah, there's plenty of games there where you'd start him. You definitely wouldn't be chucking him in against Chelsea.
No, and also with you getting rid of Shaqiri this week, that kind of a like-for-like replacement on the bench, anyway, to a degree.
Yeah, I'd say so. And you've still got players to come back, like Thiago came on. Curtis Jones is not there at the moment, and he's another high-flying young pup.
I tell you what, I did like Burnley's kit, by the way, away kit. It was lovely, I thought.
I tell you, I did like, and it depends me to say, United.
The blue one.
Yeah, it was nice. Anyway, we'll move on to the other games.
Before we move on, big news for Liverpool. Contract.
Yeah, Robertson signing.
You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I really rate Robertson.
Yeah,
$8
maybe.
million bought.
Yeah, I remember when he signed, and Ando, who's been on the show a couple of times, our mate from back home, big Liverpool fan, was like, I said, I'm telling you now, he is a player. And he was at one show, and then didn't really play him, did he, that first half of the season, first season?
Because we had Moreno at the time.
Yeah, and I remember saying he's a better player than that lad already, and what a signing. I think maybe we should do a feature at one point, you know, best signings and bargain signings, because that is an absolute. Because if you're willing to sell him, or wanted to sell him, or we wanted to, you get a lot of money for him now.
Oh, we actually. You'd be hard to press 3 better left backs in the world.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
There will be ones out there. I know people argued Shaw, but I'd say Robertson's a better version of him. You're looking, I don't know, France haven't really got a stand on. Spain, not particularly.
You like you say, you're hard pushing.
Yeah, there'd be good players out there, but
great. That's good business. You've got some good business on current players this summer.
Yeah, and I think with the fact that Liverpool have got Van Dijk back and Gomez back and Matip to a degree, it's almost like we've brought 3 new players in.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, good result for that. Villa beat Newcastle 2-0. I think basically highlights the fact that what we thought was Newcastle strong point is going to be at home.
Yeah.
Away from home, they're really going to struggle. Yeah. So it makes that loss against West Ham even more significant.
Definitely.
Ings on the score sheet again.
What a finish.
Great. I think they called it over a kick, but I was more like it's a scissor kick.
Yeah. What a finish though.
But yeah, good for him. And again, Southampton must be looking there going, if only. Because if they had a chance against United. But we'll talk about that in a second. Palace 0, Brentford 0, non-entity. Yeah. We said that would be.
Good point for Brentford, you'd say? Any point on the road for
and I think Palace would have eyed that one up as a 3-pointer, so
definitely the Brentford after the first 2 games, if you said got 4 points, snap it on that.
Oh, easily. Leeds 2, Everton 2, bit of a yo-yo game.
Yeah. I think that's the kind of size they're going to be though, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. But probably good for Leeds to get themselves a point on the board. City did what we expected to do.
Yeah.
Norwich a little bit disappointed, a bit naive again, and you think they would have learned from the first time around.
Yeah.
Is why would you keep playing the ball around your back line against a team like Man City with so much quality that when you lose it, they're in your final third?
Yeah, I understand. I agree with you. I think some other managers said, fast goes way of playing. I think that's great. And actually, you pick your games to play that. Absolutely fine. And I know it's difficult, but surely if you're a manager, a good manager, or a side or players, you can adapt.
Yeah.
And to me, like you say, you've got to try and not set up to lose or set up to not concede that many. But like you say, just be a bit. Don't be naive.
Yeah.
But when you've got Grant Hanley at centre half still, you're going to struggle.
Well, Hanley and Krul's equated with that first goal because it's Krul gets it because it runs it across, it hits Hanley and then hits the keeper and goes in. And that's not helping you causes it 4 or 5 minutes into a game and that happens. Brighton 2, Watford 0. Ken Brighton 6 from 6.
I'm a bit surprised at that. I'm surprised at Watford they look a bit toothless at the minute.
Yeah,
haven't done so well, didn't they, in the Championship?
Well, they did all right against Villa the previous week. So does that then tell us that if you look at that, then are Newcastle that far behind?
It's weird though, isn't it? Because let's be honest, in Wilson and St Maxim, you've got 2 players who I would argue, even the top 4 might look at. Look at City, who obviously we'll talk about. Kane, who Spurs, in a minute. But they're crying out for a goal scorer, and what Wilson is a goal scorer.
Yeah.
And said Maxim, you've talked about having him at Liverpool.
Yeah.
How bizarre! It just shows that elsewhere the way off they've got to be.
Yeah, surprising. We'll move on to Sunday one. Southampton 1, Man United 1. I watched this game. At times United were dominant, but at the same time Southampton could have scored a couple of goals. Southampton going 1 up early doors, deflection off Fred, caused the first goal. Matty Audrey is convinced it's a foul. Having spoken to a few Man United fans, they were like, no, I agree, I don't think it is. I think if you've been looking at last season, when they refereed last season, yes, it's a foul every day of the week, but with this allowing a little bit more physicality, it's not a foul.
No, and I am going to didn't see it live, I've seen images and you slow it down and you can 50-50, whatever. But I tell you what really annoyed me is blooming Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coming out and saying, if you carry on like this, it's rugby, it's football, not rugby. Oh my goodness me. Everybody else in the world of football, from the Euros into the first 2 weeks, is saying, isn't it great that the game's flowing, that yes, it's a bit more physical, yeah, maybe players are getting away with a bit more, but it's way better to see that. And I actually think it'll be easier for referees to spot the real nasty foul or the deliberate or the red card, because they're not blowing all the time.
If we narrow that back down to that thing, Fernandez's touch is shocking.
Yeah.
He's popped it too far in front of him, which allowed, I think, Stevens to sneak in and get the ball. And Solskjaer came out and defended. He was like, yeah, it was a bit physical, a bit too much on him, but Fred should have got closer. You need to point the finger. Fernandez has taken a heavy touch and should have protected that ball more.
It's what you said. Can Ollie manage the big players? And little comments like that about defending one of his big players, and actually call him out. If you're going to call him out, call him out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily his style. But why call out Fred if he's not prepared to call out?
He called Fred out, saying that Fred should have got close to the shot, and Fred's unfortunately deflected it. He's taken a massive deflection, gone in. But why call him out when the problem resulted from Fernandez chucking himself off?
However good a player you are, everybody has bad games, bad touches, bad spells. But yeah. Anyway, they didn't win, which is good.
Yeah, great result.
This was unbelievable, this game.
Yeah, Wolves 0, Spurs 1. Spurs 1 shot on target, Wolves 73.
It wasn't quite that bad, but it was pretty close.
So I was flicking back and forth between, and then I ended up watching, I think, the last 20 of the Wolves game. And I wouldn't say it was one-sided, but Wolves created a lot of chances, and Spurs still had that threat on the counter. But it was very heavy for Wolves, and I don't know how they'll still be scratching their head.
It was that game. I mean, having said all that, you did right. They didn't actually create that many clear cut. The one obvious one was Troy, which incidentally, there's rumours Spurs spent. I wouldn't spend 40 pence on him, let alone 40 million, because of that last thing. His final ball, his final finish is not good enough. And with Nuno, he's clearly not. He's had him for 3 years. He's not improved him. So why are we going to go that way? But good win for Spurs, a bit of resilience. We looked at Son, we looked a lot better, a lot more controlled when Kane came on 15 minutes because of the focal point. That was the problem for most of the game, and I think Son was carrying injury as well, which didn't help. But the problem was, it just kept coming back at us because we couldn't hold it up. And I know that Bergwijn had that lovely bit of skill when they had that interplay with Kane, which probably Kane should have scored, no doubt, but that's the only thing he did. Even on our Spurs group, they're like, he's absolute dog dirt. Yeah. He's rubbish. He's absolutely rubbish.
Don't hold back, Jack. Just tell us what you think.
He is rubbish.
Just interesting fact on that, because I was doing a little bit of research for the All Fancy Football, and they're on about the two they're considered the biggest threats for attacking players. Number one's Antonio, because obviously he's had assists and goals and shots on target. Number two, Adam Traore, even though he's not scored.
Yeah,
because of the amount of touches he has in the area, the amount of chances he's potentially created, things like that. And I'm going to throw this out there now. It may not happen now, but at some point, it's going to be like the City game where he's going to put somebody to the sword. And I think if he gets one that just ricochets in, he'll end up going and scoring 3 and assisting 2.
No doubt, because with goal scorer, it's just frustrating because he's devastated, isn't it, at the pace. And I actually thought Reguilon played him reasonably well, actually, all game. But his final bit, if I was a Wolves fan, it would just, it would be so frustrating.
I'm going to throw it out there that in the next couple of games, he's going to end up getting a handbag full of assists and a couple of goals. I think he's just on the air of unlucky. I think when you look at the Spurs one where he goes through on the goal, hopefully learns from that, because with his speed, he shouldn't be taking that shot. He should be going around Lloris, because he pushes it 5 yards either side of him. Lloris doesn't have a chance of getting there.
No, I mean, given Lloris his due, actually, he stood up well. And
he's
a decent save.
He's made a good save. So he's picked the corner, he's gone for the corner, Lloris made a good save. So he saves a bit unfortunately, he's hit the target. It's not like he's blazed it wide. But I generally think Adam will get, in the next few games, we'll see him.
Maybe against Liverpool.
A couple of assists and a couple of goals, I reckon.
Big news for Spurs, though, the boy.
Yeah, so Harry Kane, as everybody will have known this, that Harry Kane has officially, I think he's come out before Spurs have released it, to try and save some face.
Oh, I think so. I said before, there's clearly something not quite right with the communication to the thing. I think Lee is trying to throw him under the bus, because I don't think, you read around, there's no way that Kane would not have turned up for training, even if he didn't want to, if he was meant to be there. So I think that was point one. What I always take umbrage with in the press, two things actually. They always refer to him as the captain of the club. He's not. Hugo Lloris, so that's just, semantics. But the other thing is that they also always come out and said he wants to go. He's never said that. He's never come out and publicly said, I want to leave. He said, I want to win trophies, wants to play the best players. Never physically himself come out and said, I want to leave and I want to go to Man City. It's fairly obvious that's what he wanted to happen, don't get me wrong. But it's not happened. I think you said on the text, why is that? I don't think it's a combination of, I believe he's standing his ground, because City weren't reaching the 150, 140 million or whatever. I think, have City got that much money?
Yeah.
Is that why they've not reached it? I think the reaction of the fans who some turned against Kane in those 2 or 3 weeks ago, a bit like the Gerrard situation, and then the reaction he got from the travelling fans, which often are the real fans.
Yeah, it's the hardcore fans.
And I think a whole combination of that, and I think there's no doubt that in a week or two's time there will be an announcement they signed a new deal, and in that deal there will be a release clause. Whether that gets met, because let's face it, this time next year is going to be 29, so you're not going to really get 150 million for a 29-year-old, however good, because he'll undoubtedly go and score a hatful of goals again, there's no doubt about that. But from a Spurs point of view, you can't ask for anything more. He's your best player. He's the one who makes the difference.
Yeah, and you can't look at Harry Kane 150 at 29 years old, and then Haaland could be a little bit less at 23.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not about who's better, who's worse. It's just the investment into it.
Oh yeah, we outshot it. And then we had Arsenal 0, Chelsea 2, so the return of Lukaku.
Talking about investment.
Yeah, Lukaku's first half just unplayable. Really good, just bouncing defenders off, looked really strong, rolled a few times. Scored a good goal set up by Reece James. Could have had a second if Reece had done exactly the same pass he'd done it for the first one, but he kind of came inside and tried to keep somebody else. Reece James scored a really good goal.
Yeah.
Did well to avoid the ball being thrown on the pitch at him. He actually had a good game, which makes it for a really interesting tie this weekend, because you've got Lukaku going up against probably Matip, because I can imagine Lukaku won't want to go one-to-one with Van Dijk, so he'll try and roll himself onto Matip, which I don't know if it'll work against him, because that means Van Dijk could be sweeping him.
Yeah, I wonder whether he might be, the fact that what you said, that Van Dijk's probably not quite up to speed, he might be better off getting himself and just unsettling him. Yeah. But I think with the sign of Lukaku, and if Chelsea continue this upward curve since Tuchel's been, that I think it makes them favourites.
I think it's very close now. If City don't get a striker, it's very close between Chelsea and Liverpool to be first and second and City third.
Yeah, I just think that City won't. They can't get away without a striker again. Surely a lot of goal scorer.
No.
I think, and I did mention this to you. Where I loved Tuchel's comment when he said, I think pre-match, new sign, he starts. Yes, we've bought him to play, not sit on the bench. I thought it was brilliant, because that's a bit of a bugbear.
Yeah. But interestingly enough, before we go on to the last game, is Arsenal put out a strong team last night. It's without a shadow the strongest team they played this season.
Yeah.
Had Abang's in, Lacazette in, Odegaard, Pep was in there.
Ramsdale played in goal.
It was literally there, I think, in preparation for this weekend. And then ended up winning 6-0, which was an important game for them, because if they'd gone out to West Brom, that it would have put Arteta in a really, really
I don't worry about them because they're Arsenal, but I do worry about, the fact I'm not quite sure where they're at.
Yeah.
They don't look like anything.
But I think that team, that if we can get that team out every week, then he won't be far off.
And he won't go now. I think Aubameyang having COVID probably helps keep him a little bit.
Yeah, possibly. And then the Monday night game, West Ham 4, Leicester 1. Massively helped with the red card. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
So I feel a little bit sorry for the guy, but at the same time, there's nothing malicious about it, but unfortunately it's just dangerous. He's been, for people who haven't seen it, he's been bounced behind from a tackle, and as he's kind of stumbled forward, he's gone to step across the guy to stop him from trying to pinch it, but unfortunately has ended up stepping probably just above the ankle joint in a
slow-mo still. It doesn't look
not in a nice position, and I don't think the guy at any point has gone, I'm going to nail this guy.
Nah.
It's more a case of he's kind of getting his coordination together, and then he's gone, if I can step across this guy, I think generally he's thinking, if I step across this guy, he's going to hit me, and I'll get a
I think it was just
an unfortunate foot place.
I think it was a strong challenge from both of them, and he's come off worse. And like I said earlier, I think because they're allowing it to fly, when there is a bad challenge, it's easy for the referee to go, that's over the mark, that part. But Antonio, does he get in the England squad today, this afternoon, or it'll be announced a Thursday night?
Hasn't Antonio not signed himself in the country?
Has he done that? Has he?
I thought he'd assigned himself when he wasn't getting in the team to another country.
No, he might have done, but he's on fire, isn't he? His biggest problem though is he gets injured, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And when he gets injured, they're quite lengthy spells on the sideline. But he's on fire. And West Ham, top of the league.
Yes.
So there was I thinking that potentially he doesn't. They don't probably finish as high as last year because they've not really made any signings, and they've lost Lingard, but their start's been absolutely brilliant, and he's took the number 9 shirt on, and in the process became West Ham's highest ever Premier League goal scorer, which I would not have guessed. Would you have guessed that?
No, definitely
of all
not.
the players I've had over the years.
Yeah, I think. I'm just trying to think of any that really stand out. Who else there would have been?
I mean, they probably.
They had Ian Wright at one point.
Ian Wright, Dean Ashton, but of course he got injured. He finished early. Decano, yeah. But anyway, fair play to him.
Oh yeah, he's saying that his birthplace was London.
Yeah, I think you're right though.
But his nationality is Jamaican.
I think you're right. I think
so
there's been some talk of that. I don't know whether it's.
I don't know if he has actually played.
Because I would pick him.
He's definitely a handful, isn't he?
They've got 3 games. You can pick as many. I'll definitely pick him. I think Greenwood obviously get in the squad. Probably Danny Ings as well.
Yeah.
And with Kane, there's your front 4.
Yeah. Right. We'll quickly whiz through these fixtures for this week and have a look what's going on, and then we'll have a quick scan at Arabian Gulf League. So big game Saturday lunchtime, Man City Arsenal. Arsenal, I think if they can get that team out, won't be as easy. Will be a bit more of a presence, probably, I'd say. And again, City if they drop points there, then there's a slight worry, especially with Pep now saying he's not signing a new contract.
Yeah, Ronaldo.
Well, I did mention that. I don't know if it was
talked today. I
don't know if I missed that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, there's talk that they've been offered him.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I don't know.
We'll see. There's only a few days left.
Yeah.
Villa, Brentford, Brighton, Everton, Newcastle, Southampton, Norwich, Leicester, West Ham, Crystal Palace, and then the big. Which is the bigger game, Liverpool, Chelsea, or City, Arsenal? I'm going to say Liverpool,
Chelsea. Yeah.
On the afternoon or evening time, depending on where you're located. Sunday sees Burnley at home to Leeds. Burnley will be desperate need to get points, and Leeds will be looking for their first win as well.
Yeah.
So that should be quite a physical game. Spurs, Watford. You'd expect that if Watford should just roll over.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting enough with that tonight. So we're recording this Thursday night. Obviously tonight Spurs played the second leg of the European game that they lost last week. So I think he will play. Well, he has to play a strong side tonight.
I just wonder if you give Kane a bit of time.
I would definitely play him. I'll play him for an hour because he only had 20 minutes the other day. Play him for an hour should be enough to beat him, and then bring him off. So Watford might smell a bit of a chance there if he has to play a lot of his top boys, so to speak. But
yeah, and then the last game on Sunday, Wolves versus Man United, which is not an easy place to go. But yeah, that's the Premiership. We'll have a look at fancy football in a second. But Arabian Gulf League actually started last week. Yeah. We didn't cover it, but there's been a couple of games played. There's actually been games played last night.
Right, yeah.
And then there's games tonight. But quickly update you, Al Ain are currently top of the league. We played 2-1-2, along with the Shabab. Shabab Al Ahly have played 2-1-2 as well, so both on 6 points each. Al Jazeera have played 2-1-1, drawn 1. They've just brought, I think, a guy called Marcel back.
What?
He used to play up front for them a few years ago, and he's back in the fold. Al Wassel have played 2-1-1.
Where's my team?
1-1, draw 1. And then if we go down, Sharjah have played 1-1-1. If you go down, you've only played 1 because you lost it.
And obviously there was some talk, should say, a week, 10 days ago, of Musa Sissoko coming to Al Nassr, but it's sort of died a death a little bit, but keep an eye on that, would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing, we'll give this a little bit more airtime next week, is the potential for crowds coming back. They're talking about 70% capacity now in UAE, so that's exciting because that means we'll definitely get the opportunity to go. And like tonight, if it is the case, I'll have a look out. But Al Nassr are playing at home tonight to Al Uruba.
It's a new team. Al Uruba. It sounds like fashion. Aruba! Off Gladiators.
I have no idea what he's on about.
Can you remember Gladiators?
I remember Gladiators. Yeah, I remember Recat.
Of course you do. In fact, I used to go, Aruga!
I just remember Jet, that's all I remember.
Oh, Jet, that was my dad's favourite.
What was it?
I remember buying it, and my mum bought a model of it, you know, like a thing, put it in his stocking one Christmas.
Nice.
I don't know where it's gone. Shrek. What happened to it?
Where's Jet gone, Shrek?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll look forward to that. We'll pay a little bit more airtime to it next week.
Talking of gladiators, though, we've got a friend of a friend who knows a gladiator well, doesn't he? Just a cook. She was a former gladiator.
Oh, was it the presenter?
Yeah.
I didn't know she was a gladiator.
Yeah. Caroline Pierce.
Caroline Pierce is now MMA.
Yeah, she was over in the States, but yeah, she's Charlie's wife's best friend. So he needs to just get her on the pod.
Of course. She's obviously missing out. She needs to upgrade her life.
Stop the MMA. Maybe we could own an MMA fighter as well as a football club.
Well, there we go. We're branching out, aren't we? All right. Okay. Cricket. So, do you want to start with 100 or do you want to start with England?
Yeah, let's start with 100 because obviously that concluded last weekend. I watched it.
Was it not the one women's team, one men's team from the same area in the final?
Yeah, so Southern Brave. So the girls' team, Southern Brave were the best team in the tournament, all tournament.
And they lost.
And they lost. And got not lost, they got absolutely hammered. And so the Oval Invincibles won that. Really good game of cricket. And then Southern Brave beat the Birmingham Phoenix in the men's game.
That's the ones with the horrible orange and
that's Phoenix,
yellow.
Yeah. Two good games. I'm not going to go through it all, but I think the point I wanted to make is when a lot of things said about like the Test team stood because of that. And not at all. That's irrelevant. We've talked about that. In terms of the 100, people said to me, "Oh, did you like it?" So, yes, I liked it.
Well, he's changed his mind because it was like, I hate it. It looks like computer games.
Yeah, I still don't like the graphics, and I'm not sure about the kits, but the concept and the fact and the cricket that was played really good. The franchise cricket. But I'll repeat it again, they had no need to introduce another format. They should have just franchised the Blast.
But you've got more cricket on TV, sure you're happy about that.
But yeah, more cricket on TV, more cricket on mainstream TV back in the UK for free to air, which is really good. And there's no doubt that it's got crowds back in different clientele. It's certainly improved the women's game, which is a great thing, because England women have been really good, one of the top 2 ties for probably the last 10 years or so. What's always been a little bit of a concern is when this group of players retire, because I mean, in the girls' cricket, so someone like Catherine Brull, for example, has probably played since she was 17. She's nearing the end of her career. In the past, it's been like, well, we've got nobody to replace him, and then it becomes a little bit, the quality is diluted, but it's been building anyway, and the help of this pressure situation, all those kind of things, that's really good for girls' cricket in this country. And a little bit the same for English, for the men's. You know, and there's been some superstars come out of it. In terms of Liam Livingston's the standout, and unfortunately, if he hadn't have been of lazy, switched off running in the final, it could have been a really, really tight affair. But on the whole, it was a good competition. I'm not going to doubt that. It'll be back. You support it. It's done the job what it's pretended to do. But I still think they have no need to bring another format.
And T20 here, when does that start?
So the IPL is end of September, beginning of October, and then
Also
the Cricket World Cup end of October, November. So,
excellent.
And obviously we've got it in now, as we said last week. So
yeah, we'll just wait. There's a few active messages on the group today, so we'll wait to see what happens on that. And then England, after capitulating in the second test, turns out it was India's turn.
Yeah. So, like somebody, I saw a tweet saying, "Oh wow, how great is English K cricket? The IPL's got to go. It's all to blame." Because as India get rolled out for 78.
Yeah.
But the main man did it again, didn't he? Jimmy Anderson. When the ball talks, he makes it talk louder. Very, very good, very impressive. And what is more impressive at the minute is that we are actually doing what we should do. And last night, Burns and Hamid put a century stand on. The first century opening stand since Hamid made his debut with Cook in 2016.
I was going to say, this is Hamid that you said needs to move up the order.
Yeah. So he's got 68. So the first opening, 100 opening stand since then. So shows what desperate times we've been in, really. Burns 61. Unfortunately, they both lost the wicket already, but Milan and Roots are in, and we're 182 for 2, so over 100 lead already, which is unbelievable. So hopefully England are only back once.
And when we record this now, it's currently saying that it's lunch, so if they can get through a full 24 hours and have 400 on the board, then you'd be retiring, shouldn't you?
I would say now, and Headingley traditionally flattens out, might spin a bit later, but I would have thought now, if the weather's set for, I don't know what the forecast is, they'll just look to bat rest of Thursday, most of the day.
Oh, they go that far? I thought they just go up to lunch Friday, and if they've got a lead of 3,
it depends where they'll only look to bat once, I would have thought. So you'd go to lunch or just after tea on Friday.
You really want to give them 2 days of batting, don't you?
Yeah, so I would have thought they'll look to bat until maybe towards the end of the session, last session tomorrow on Friday,
and then that would
give them a tricky
Saturday, Sunday to try and hold on.
Yeah, and then because they're going to be, and then even if they go past them, you think so they won't be that far past them. But yeah, fingers crossed they're going well. And, it's amazing that actually we suddenly Hamid up the order, bit more momentum. They were looking for singles, which suddenly just gets stuck a bit. They've got Milan up in the side, which I think was I've been saying that before for that whole series. So all of a sudden we look a little bit stronger. The bowling is never really an issue because you've got plenty of bowling. It's just getting that first inning score. So fingers crossed we can talk about a win this time next week, mate.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I have no doubt England will probably do something to upset you between now and next week.
Yeah, well, probably. England might have got quite easy face away yet, so I shouldn't worry.
Right, okay, moving on to fantasy football. So, big old Larkin, the jam, is back on.
Should we see what he said?
Let's get him on. We never listened to this. We'll see what he's going to say. Oh, he's broken already.
Old Larkin back to bring you some of that nice FBL jam. Well, what a couple of weeks it's been. Most of us got myself off to a flyer, jam season, we're up and away, sucking on diesel, and then sadly, last week we've come off the rails. In fact, if it wasn't for my boy Mings, I'd be staring down the bottom of the table. But it's not all negative. I want to give a big shout out to Jason Smith, top of the league, an impressive 98 points in week 2. A true player indeed. Now, tips. Think you need to look out for the Villa, the mighty Villa. Indifferent start, like I said, the boy Mings helped me out last week, but they have got the worst run of games I have seen in the next 5. However, on the flip side, you've got Leeds, difficult game this weekend, and then bang, 5 or 6 easy fixtures. So you want to fill your team with West Yorkshire's finest. Now, I was 50-50 on this skin at the start of the year, but he has come through this season big style. The mighty Irons, the Hammers, East London's finest are sitting at the top of the table, and he's playing the integral part for that. Antonio, you've got to get him in. They're on form, they've got a decent run of games. He's scoring for fun, especially with strikers aren't doing much as it is in the league. And on that note, Harry, he's finally got off the pop and done his business, and he's decided he's staying at Spurs. So for me, you've got to find room for the next couple of days, couple of weeks, get him in the squad. He's going to come on form, he's going to bring back the jam. So not much from me. Over the next couple of weeks, keep an eye on the team, keep an eye Jam. See you in 2 weeks, lads.
Well, thank you very much, Ian. He was correct in some aspects. I did actually look at his team, and Mings was on the bench, and it was only luckily that Stones didn't play that allowed him to bring 15 points on. Or else he was right, he would have been at the bottom. I think he ended up with 44 points.
That's what I got.
And Mings had chucked in 15 last minutes for him. He was also correct. Jason Smith is top of our league. He did win the points of the week. So congratulations, Jason Smith. So give us a shout out, and we'll get this voucher over to you. With Lart again.
Yeah, Lart again.
Lart,
yeah.
So
I think it will switch around when the Void opens its doors. We might even do a podcast from the Void, maybe just to sort it out. But yeah, well, Jason, get in contact. I've had to make some changes this week, Stu.
Yeah, it's a bit.
I had to bite the bullet. So I've made the free transfer. I've also took 4 points off. It's not going to make much difference this day. I'm 97th, I think.
I'm just having a look now. It's on a separate page.
I'm way down. So I've managed to get Trent in. I can't remember what I brought in. Somebody else anyway.
You've gone Harry Kane.
I don't have Harry Kane, so I've kept him. Who else did a lot? So I brought Alexander Arnold in, and I brought. It's exciting. Callum Wilson in up front. So I've got Wilson, Ings, and Kane up front. The Newcastle out Southampton. I'm 100. I've got 100.
Yes.
I'm not bottom, am I?
No. There's another page as well. So out of 101, you are 100th.
Well, on that note, there's only one way to finish.
What do we know?